Hey you guys, got another Ares War video. Usually I go in chronological order, and so I would do some like Athena War or Venus battle type of video, but I thought I would go ahead and just do another Ares War, do them back to back and show sort of a progression over the first couple of weeks. I think I missed the third week of this, but I'll get back into it this week. But yeah, so I got awesome buffs this time, like really good, so I was very excited about this week. You cannot get much better. I have plus 2,000 awakening points, which is that first one, and then the second one is increasing my resistances. So that's basically a shield. When you increase your resistances are always in play. Your reduce res and your normal resistances are always a factor, and so when you increase your resistances, you're basically just saying, okay, I'm decreasing the damage I'm gonna take. It's gonna help with everybody. If you keep your resistances really even, so for me, I keep 3 resistance crystals of every single element. Some people like to only emphasize certain ones, and they feel like that works better for them. For sure, that's more conducive to having a higher BR, especially if you cater your dimensions toward those resistances, or your talent points only toward a certain number of resistances. It's better for your BR if you only keep 3 types of resistance crystals or something like that. But as far as efficacy, I would say that you know, diversifying your resistances is better. And when you get something like this where it's like increasing your resistances by like 200% or something, I forgot what the number was. That pretty much means that you have a solid shield against anybody who's hitting you. And so yeah, so that's great. And then my favorite, again, which we saw in the previous video, which is the minus 2,000 awakening points. Just use that against Kenshin, and he's sort of, you know, SOL, and not able to use a Delphic again, and so I'm in pretty good shape. And I think Kenshin is somebody who I would struggle with if I didn't have such good extra skills. You know, he's hitting really hard, and so that just gives me that little edge. You know, he did take away some of my awakening points earlier in the fight. I was able to recover that, stay in Sylph mode longer. So yeah, all really good stuff. I don't know what that thing is on me right now. Oh, that was the, I thought I had already used it. It was the increased resistances. And so yeah, so I got the drop on him, which is a nice fight. And so yeah, I think these go over super well. This is when I was looking back at the footage, I don't think I realized it while I was fighting. I realized that it wasn't just like, oh, I was getting easier opponents, or I was just like, you know, or it was just the buffs. Maybe it was, I keep on calling them buffs, but the extra skills or whatever I got this time around. But I fought Hay in the first, in the first week, and I lost pretty badly. I mean, I got hit pretty hard. I was off without a shield, but I still had, you know, almost completely full health, and she hit me super hard, and I got wiped out. And this time around, I'm doing a lot better, and do I win this one? I think I see her a couple times, and I actually do really well in both of them. Definitely not like a resistance thing, you know, I get a plus 29%. Let's see what, oh, I missed what she got. But yeah, actually, no, I won that fight, so I was pretty surprised. Survival 1, I forget if I don't think I set up my Titans that differently. I think I usually check my opponent's Titans, and sometimes check my own. But I know the order of my Titans usually while I'm in the fight, and now when I'm looking back at everything, I forget it all. That would be the advantage to commentating while I'm in fight, but there are a lot of lag times between fights, and plus I tend to like be typing to my guildies during the middle of things, so it's easier to sort of just voiceover. Here, Alvin gets me, which this fight was sort of just, I think yeah, order of operations was not great. I should have led with a Guardian Rune, but at this point I was not super familiar with Alvin, and then all my guild was making, I said, oh, I got beat up by Alvin really badly, and then everybody's making Alvin and the Chipmunks jokes, so now I can't see Alvin without thinking of Alvin and the Chipmunks, and then that leads to Alvin and the Chipmunks Christmas song. It just is a mess. It's a slippery slope. But anyway, so I wasn't super prepared for that. I didn't do that well against him, but that's just somebody who I'm going to lose to regardless. I mean, it has to be a really dumb luck for me to beat somebody that strong. I think he's on the order of, you know, 25 million plus BR. Thunderlord, another person where it's one of those cases where, like, previously have struggled with them, or I know that they're strong, not sure where they are in the mix these days. So I feel like I still have an advantage, but yeah, you never know. Sometimes, you know, I'll see somebody and I'll be like, oh, this is gonna be okay, and then it does not go over well, and I'm like, oh yeah, you haven't been caching much recently. So I have to give myself a little bit of a reminder. And that big knight skill is always scary. It doesn't matter what I'm shielded up with or whatever. Unless I have the Guardian Titan, which reduces damage by 90%, I do not feel good against that big knight Delphic. I just never feel super secure. It deals so much damage, and I am so weak toward physical attacks that it just, yeah. And this one is super sad. I know that she's attacking a little bit at the beginning, but I'm pretty sure there's a point in this fight where she just stops doing things. Like, she starts auto-attacking, and I'm still struggling. So, that never feels good when you have, like, over 20 million BR, and there's still somebody who can, like, ruin you without really doing anything. I'm sure the Titans help there because, you know, they're getting some protection and buffs and whatever. But it's still pretty unfortunate. Yeah, so some auto attacks right there. Like a bunch of them. I really should be using the extra skills or doing something to help myself, but because she was auto attacking, it's sort of awkward to figure out what I should be doing. Oh, but the kid used a Delphic just then, a Delphic heal, so maybe I'm just imagining things. Maybe she's just auto-attacking as a strategy to build up rage. I don't know. She should have long had enough rage, so just really confusing, but poor job on my part. I should have just started using the skills, and I don't know. That was a mess. Yeah, so I was complaining. I was like, I think I just lost to somebody when they were on AFK, which I don't know. Maybe it was like very intentional or at least well monitored AFK mode. And here's Hay again, so I can check. So, why don't it tell me what my reduction is? Is she gonna hit me? Where does it? Oh, okay, wait. Damage minus 27%. Okay, so my resistances are better than hers. It could be a thing of, like, I shouldn't have lost that fight in the first week. She was super buffed up, and my physical defense sucks, so she just wiped me out, and that's how it goes, and that this is more indicative of our difference in strength. This is the other thing, is with the Frigos, like, I don't know why it's doing this. They just, like, decide to, like, fall over once in a while. I feel like it was only happening this week. I've seen it before, but it was just really strange that all of a sudden I really hadn't seen this issue in a while, and they just randomly just sort of crimple and look really sad. I just don't understand, but anyway, Wartune. Never know what's gonna happen. I've gone into Spire recently, and for whatever reason, Spire is bugging. You know, an event that we've had since, like, the dawn of Wartune, and for some reason, all of a sudden, it's bugging again really badly. Like, there's always been, like, some Spire bug, but I don't really understand how, like, it can just be the exact same thing. They've done absolutely nothing to it of significance, and somehow it managed to be extra bugged when I recently came back and started running it again. And yeah, it's just incredible to me that like something can just randomly have issues again. I don't know. Wartune. Maybe I'm just missing it, but usually I'm keeping an eye on my opponent's Titan, so I like to look over there and get a feel for, you know, what's coming up and what they like to do. You know, you're always gonna run into shields and heals, and then some people like to go the bleeds or the damage increase or whatever, but no matter what, it's really hard to kill somebody early on, unless they use an early Guardian rune. Unless they use a late Guardian rune and just for whatever reason don't get to it or something, they're gonna make it to the Guardian rune, they're gonna make it to their heal, and it's just gonna take a little while to kill them. Unless you're really overpowered, like there's just a huge strength difference, it's really hard to just absolutely crush somebody. So that means, like, the people who do kill me super fast, that just means they're really, really out of this world. So that was an increase in awakening points. So I'm getting back into Sylph mode before him, even though I was out later. Oh, I don't quite get the steal, which is unfortunate, because then I could have kept him out longer as well. Do I get it? Oh, we're gonna go to timer. How long are the fights in this are 2 minutes and 50 seconds, I think, so I only have a few seconds on this one. I'm gonna win on timer or lose on timer? Win on timer, there we go. Or is this only... Now I'm confused. Maybe it's longer. Maybe it's 3 minutes. It went to a full 100% bonus. So 0, 50, 100. So this should be a 3-minute fight, and then there's a 30-second gap. So I guess they're 3.5 minute rounds? Okay. I think that's the math. Yeah, because I think this event uses the full hour instead of just 45 minutes like we've seen with some of the other ones. So that's good. I think that's actually better. You get the full 3 minutes and you get a little bit of a break to make sure you don't like lag really badly and like don't get into the next fight or whatever. Here's Bosco. I'm pretty sure I've had issues against him in semi-recent history, whatever recent history is for me. Again, that awesome plus 2,000 awakening points, so I didn't totally get screwed out of my Sylph mode. And there's the poor poor Frigga. What's going on? I don't know if I've seen that with the other Sylphs. Totally strange. Oh, and he's using the Knight Shield setup, so the defensive setup for really being a tank, which I think is very interesting. The Knights really are the only class that have good options for both sets. I think that the mages, the healing setup is just too like weird and difficult to use and not that great. I think the archers is sort of really, I mean, their offensive setup is so great, like why would you give that up? But the Knights have real options with a defensive setup and an offensive setup, and are super helpful in that defensive setup when you have group fights. So I think that the Knights easily have the best knighthood options after all those changes came. So again, going to timer, and this time I fail. So he got more damage on me, or it could have been more damage on my kids for all I know. The kids do not help you on that timer, but most people seem to be bringing their kids. The only time I've seen some dropped kids in recent history for the sake of winning on a timer is in, what's it called? Wait, which one am I talking about even? Oh, in Venus battle, so paired battles. I was thinking it might be Athena Wartune, but no. Where I saw the drop kids was in Venus battle, because some of those battles can really go for a long time, and so there's a high chance that you're not going to be able to get the kill there. Here's Salistar. I think I saw him doing quite well or at least getting into Warlord's Hall in Class Wars, while that was still a thing, so this is obviously at least going to be a tough fight. Poor Slouchy Frigga. I don't know what triggers it either. So you can sort of get caught with Friggas, you know, wanting to deal damage and having to wait around for either Tsunami or one of your other skills, and also, you know, needing those tanking skills. Frigga would be absolutely bomb if she had a 6th skill. I mean, all the skills you sort of want a 6th skill, but if she could also have Ice Bolt, that would be great. Could have the shield, the heals, and more offensive options. But I just find it sort of difficult to work all of that in. I'm not really willing to go up the shield and the heal, and so everything else just has to sort of make do. So here, when somebody uses their Q, I try to use a heal, use a shield, or use my own Q. Do whatever I have to do to not hit them, especially if you're going into a big damage bonus. You don't want to hit them and like let them heal up a lot. That fight, I was clicking out and it accidentally didn't show everything, but I did win it on the timer. So a lot of these going to timer, much longer fights than the first week. Somebody with a Thor, which I'm in great shape against somebody with a Thor as far as the skills go. Somebody super powerful is still gonna be able to kill me, but at least from a skill point of view, I'm in good shape. So I'll steal their awakening. I do this dumb thing where I forget when my Guardian Titan is going to come up, and sometimes I use my Guardian Rune a little too early, but Sylvie. Oh, and I die. Okay, well that's terrible. I really should have used... Well, okay, no, oh, I was trying to use my minus 2,000, oh no, I was trying to use my increased resistances to protect myself, and I didn't get it up in time, which is unfortunate. I think that's a loss of really just not using my, my runes and my extra skills effectively, because I think I could have won that, or I could have gone either way, so, just sort of dumb on my part. But yeah, so there's the minus 2,000 back with the plus 2,000, which I guess can be frustrating to other people. I've definitely seen it where somebody has that plus 2,000 and they just get everything back. But you don't see it a lot. I think people do prefer the minus 2,000 against their opponent. But I feel like the first week I'd seen a lot of those plus 2,000 awakening points. Now it doesn't seem as popular. I think Robin was mentioning, I don't know if it was the video before this or this one, that she really likes the plus 2,000 awakening points when using Thor. You know, Thor's so powerful, but it's sort of susceptible to steals and things. Like, you can get rid of your awakening points on Thor super easily because of all those big Delphics and everything. So having those plus 2,000 awakening points for a Thor is extra awesome. But I think that the minus 2,000 awakening points is better against Thors and Odins, and is still useful against Frigga players, just not amazing. Checking in on how Robin's doing. I think she's a little bit ahead of me at this point. Maybe throughout the whole thing, for all I know. Archer in the mix. I don't know what's the most popular class anymore. I feel like I run into a lot of knights, as always, in my crossover section. But I think the top player is still B, so that would be an archer. Oh yeah, I do mention somewhere in the conversation, I was like, I screwed up that fight a little while back with the Titans. And really, it's a matter of, you know, I also didn't have any sort of shield on me when that big Delphic came and hit me, and so, really, I just cannot go without some sort of shield. It has to be a Q, it has to be a Guardian Rune, it has to be Moon Titan, the Delphic shield from Frigga, or some sort of skill, anything in order to protect myself, because I just can keel over and die, you know. Almost 6.7 million HP seems to mean absolutely nothing in this game anymore, since people can deal so much damage. You know, bleeds are usually not as much of an issue, but once in a while they'll get you. You know, there will be bleeds that don't have caps on them, and they can get you real hard. He's gonna take my awakening. I don't know what I do here. Maybe just... Oh no, I go for the... Oh, I thought I was gonna go for that plus 2. I need to make up my mind here because it's confusing me when I look back at the footage. So I got rid of the awakening points pretty immediately. And he can't get in that Delphic, not even one. Still a little bit of a danger here. Probably shouldn't have used that heal there, just should have used the shield, because if he had enough rage for like a big Delphic or something, I could have still been in trouble. I think for me, unless my health is really low, it's always better to shield first, then heal, rather than heal, then shield. Oh boy. So I had my Moon Titan on. It's good that I cast it first, or else I would have been dead, which I'm probably going to be very soon anyway, but that's beside the point. Oh, I thought his skill would have hit me, since I had the least HP, but... Okay, well, we recovered, at least for now. He has a late, very, very late Time Titan. He has a Time Titan in his 5th slot. I don't know if that actually comes to help. I sort of like the Time Titan, you know, 2nd or 3rd slot. A lot of people like to use shields or, you know, damage buffs in their first cast. So, if you put it 2nd, usually you can get rid of something pretty useful to them. So there, that's better. You know, do the shield first, even though I'm at half health. And then, well, he had some sort of debuff on me that reduces my healing, but I did get at least some healing in there. Also, Frigga has these great passives. Everybody can get a downgraded version of it, but Frigga has a chance when you get hit to recover 20% of your HP, and then also the Blessed Electro passive. Oh yeah, there we go. I know Legacy's stronger than I am, but I hung in there a while. But Blessed Electro is actually pretty good too. You can recover, I think, 10% of your HP or something like that. Or it might be just a lower chance of recovering it through Blessed Electro. But anyway, so I managed, there I am, at 29th. So Heliatan managed 29th overall, and so that's pretty good. I'm pleased. I think B and that whole bunch, Trinity, Enchantress, are at the top again. And, oh, and Robin makes it to 46. So I passed her at some point. She probably took a hard loss somewhere toward the end, but still doing pretty well. So after 2 weeks, I'm super sad that I missed the 3rd week, because I was doing really well. I was hoping to be able to, you know, show off a little bit and feel good about, you know, being able to make it maybe top 20, but I'm gonna drop a lot after this video just because I missed a week. But anyway, thanks for watching, you guys. Take care and have a very good day.